That's right. Wipe the sleep out your eye. It's me, the BEAST, and my main man who just woke up. I know he just woke up because look at his face. Look
Jet
at his
lag.
face, isn't it?
Jet lag. Yeah.
Where are you coming in from?
Just got in last night from Saskatchewan, Saskatoon.
Damn, I used to be there too, man. Did you stay at the Parktown Hotel?
We was at the Hilton Garden.
Ooh, that's
Hilton
a nice
Garden,
spot.
right in downtown Saskatoon. Yeah.
So it was a track event. I take it.
This was the national championships, university national championships, the big one, the last meet of the year, the big one. Yeah.
And how did your team fare?
It was let's call it. It was a silverware party. It was a silverware
party. For those who don't know, this man who has been nominated the top assistant track coach of the year, my main man Paul Johnson. Shout out to him and all his hard work in the track world. He's been doing it since grade 9.
Ever since.
Man, you took track as a hobby / fun time and made it into a profession. Let's go back to the beginning, man. Your main events back in the day were what?
Back in the day, man, I was like an eclectic athlete. I remember at running meet, I did everything, like every event. I wanted to do the 100, did the javelin, shot put. I even did the hurdles. I did every single event in my grade that year until I found a love for the triple jump. Yeah, made it to OFSA for the triple jump for Runnymede in my final 2 years. Yeah, so
excellent. Do you think now doing that huge array of events kind of brought you to where you are right now? It kind of fine-tuned where you wanted to be as that coach because you fell in love with that one event?
Yeah, because it was in what was it 1990? Damn, 1900. Wow, that's a long time ago.
The old folks, man. The old.
Back in 99, I remember qualifying for OFSA, and we had a solid relay team too. We had some fast guys on that team, but we didn't qualify, right? So I was the only one, myself and I think a couple other grade 9 and 10 boys qualified for OFSA. So it was only 3 of us that qualified, and I made it for the triple jump. So it was like when you hear like triple, it's almost like baseball. I know we played baseball together, right?
Yeah.
And you know, with baseball, 3 strikes, you're out. So I figured with the triple jump, I got 3 shots to make this thing work.
Correct.
So it's one of those events where it's like, if you mess up one phase, you get 2 shots to catch up. And that's what I love about the sport, man. Triple jump is just, you got multiple opportunities to excel. So
I hear you. And when you go down the line, since you've talked about baseball, when did you stop really, not per se pursuing, but when did you figure out that was the way to go when it came to any type of sport? Because me, I'm in the same way where I was playing everything from volleyball to baseball, played rugby, soccer, and then you find out that all that stuff is just wear and tear in your body. When did you? Because we did play baseball together, and I think we were the fastest guys on the team. You were a better hitter than me, of course.
Yeah,
I was more so the speed on the base paths, and I was bunting to get on base. I think I had a streak of about 6 bunts in a row, batting 1,000 for about 6 at bats, and then I was like,
1,000. I remember that.
I was batting 1,000. I was proud of that, batting 1,000. But in the wear and tear, I realized that baseball wasn't going to be a thing for me. So when did you think baseball wasn't going to be for you?
Probably after the surgery. So I after Runnymede, I was doing track, tried to do a scholarship, blew my knee out, and then went to George Brown College for child and youth worker. Right. So I was like, well, where's the track and field team? There's no track and field team in Ontario colleges. So I was like, what's the next best thing? Play baseball. So I played 2 years varsity baseball for George Brown. And then that second year, did it again, blew my knee out again. So I had surgery, and then decided after surgery, let's try this track and field thing one more time. So after the surgery, I think it was around 2005, entered myself into a track meet. Running a little twilight meet at York University, and it was in a triple jump event. And not a lot of competitive. Maybe 7-8 guys were jumping.
Right.
And the kid that won OFSA that year
Right.
was in the competition. In
Okay.
my mind, I'm like, dude, I got 4 years on this guy. There's no way I should be listening to a high school kid. And I came second in that event, right? And I was like, I just lost to a high school kid. I think my time is up. And I was like, I think that's it. I think that's all. If me at 23 years old, 24 years old, I can't beat an 18-year-old. I think my time is up. I think the writing's on the wall. I was done with college, so there's no more baseball. And I was like, you know what? I think it's time to just focus on the coaching. So that's when it hit me. Yeah. Okay.
So now, child and youth work. That's what you wanted to do, I guess, after high school. That was the goal. Is that what you wanted to do, or is that just something that fell in your lap?
That was definitely a lap faller. It was definitely the backup plan. My main goal was radio, TV broadcasting. This voice right here, 11 years old, just like that. I was 10, sound like this at 10, and boom, 11, I sound like this. So it was like, man, I got to do this radio thing. Did radio for a little bit on 105.5, and then I was like, this is my career, entertainment. And then I applied to it, and you have 5 options when you apply to college. And that 5th option I put child and youth worker, only because my part-time job at the time was Toronto Parks and Rec.
Parks and Recs, yeah. Right? Shout out to MTHA, yeah.
Yeah, man, working with those kids, I was like, I'm getting paid. You guys are paying me government money to play games with children. Bring it on, right? That's what I was saying. So I took that job, right? And then I was like, well, child and youth worker, it's kind of the same thing. So I put it as my 5th and final option. Lo and behold, that was the only one that called me back. I was put on a wait list for radio broadcasting in Seneca, and I was admitted right away into George Brown for child and youth work. So I was like, you know what? Let's just try the child and youth work thing. And that was, that was 22 years ago. No, it's 2023. Yeah, 22 years ago. Yeah. So that's how it all started, man.
Now, and I've followed you for a very, very long time. You were, Mr. Johnson. That's what the kids tell you. Yes, right there. But the kids recognize you, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
How satisfying was it to work with the youth in the schools that you've been? I mean, you've been through a few other schools in the industry there. So what did it feel like with working with the youth and at a professional level? You know how the Parks and Rec is more of a part-time, when you have time and you just do things that you feel like doing. When did that cross the line and make it so satisfying for you?
It was honestly, it was the first day. It was that first day in Parks and Rec. I remember my first day at work. It was would have been like around maybe like August 1999, my first day on the job, and they gave me this list of things like program plans. Like, you got to plan out for these kids. Like, what do I have to do? Just anything you want. Like, can I put basketball on it? Like, yeah. Like, can I put soccer? Yeah. Can I play baseball? Tag? Like, you're telling me you guys are paying me money to play games? Like, this is the best job in the world. And then my first day in college, child and youth worker. Mind you, I loved high school, but I loved the social aspect of it.
Yes.
Did not like class. I'll tell you right now, I was not the strongest student, right? I'll tell you that right now. But when it came to the social aspect of it, I think I pretty much knew everybody in high school, or everybody at least knew who I was, right? So with that being said, I just loved the social aspect of just being in school. So, but academically, man, I was just barely getting by. Academically, I was like, I never had a doubt in my mind I was going to graduate high school, but it was going to be, I'm just going to get what I need to get and get out. So when I went to George Brown and, started taking these classes, it was a bit different because, you're paying for it. So you got to treat it a little bit differently. So I'm paying for these classes and I'm doing these classes, and all of a sudden I'm like, this feels way too easy. This is wrong. Like, I felt like it felt completely wrong. When you go into a class called therapeutic activities and your first assignment is called what is art, and you have to draw a picture, and that's weighted for like 10% of your grade, Mike. You're telling me I have to draw a picture of anything I want. and the professor brought out like pencil crayons and mark. You're telling me right now 10% of my grade is to color on a piece of paper. I'm like, this can't be right. This can't be right. I've never received a mark higher than 80% in anything other than phys ed and drama class. And I'm looking at like, I'm drawing like 85s and 90s in psychology and social. I'm like, how am I? Like, it just felt natural. It just felt natural. So the job itself felt like, I think it was, I don't know if it was Morgan Freeman that said it. He said that if you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life.
Amen, brother. Amen. Amen. Amen.
I've been in this field for over 20 years, and I'm still waiting to work. I'm still waiting to go to work. So yeah, that's a great
feeling. When you enjoy what you're doing and it doesn't feel like a job, you can stay in that forever. And you'll never know. And and the thing is, hate to say it, it doesn't age you either. You look the same way you looked from when I saw you last.
That's man, black don't crack. They say
black don't crack. Black don't crack. It's true. Now you did do a few stints on TV way back when. I think you've done a few commercials.
Yeah.
And you were a host for Top 10?
Video and arcade.
Arcade top 10, yes.
My TV.
And that's when I first saw him on the tube. I'm like, yep, that's my dog right there.
Yeah.
And then I guess, whatever happened, what made you not pursue the acting thing? I mean,
well, it was like everything kind of flipped, right? So it's like my main career was supposed to be, entertainment, and the backup was supposed to be child and youth work.
Right.
And at some point it flipped, and it became the main point was child and youth worker, and the backup became the acting. So I think I had no interest in performing arts when I got into the field of child and youth work, because, I just love working with the kids. But at the same time, it's almost the exact same job performing, right? Because to entertain kids, you got to keep them busy for 6, 7, 8 hours a day. So you have to be a performer, right? So when I got into the field, the bug hit me. I think it was in my second year that acting bug hit me. I was watching a talent show at George Brown. I'm watching this show. It was their Black History Month show, the main show on their big stage, and I'm watching the host. And I'm used to hosting. I've been hosting shows. Right? I'm the host with the most. I know what I'm doing. So I'm watching these guys host it, and I don't know his name, so I can just he was not good. He was not good. He was probably the worst host of a show ever. He was begging the audience for support, and when I mean begging, it was almost threatening. He was very hood. He was very gangster, the way he talked to the crowd. He said, put your hands together right now. What's wrong with you guys? Put your hands together right now. Come on. Give it up, man. He said, we're going to put it. Like, damn, I thought he was going to pull something on us if we didn't clap it. It was a horrible show, so bad to the point where the audience would not clap because it was just so abrasive. This one rapper came out to perform, and the audience was just dead. And then after it was over, there was the little golf claps.
Yeah.
And then he came out, was like, yo, put your hands together, clap for this guy. And no one would clap. And this rapper got so mad, he ripped the speakers out. Like, he ripped the cords out the speakers and plugged everything out. And that's when everybody left, because I'm like, this dude looks like he's about to shoot this place up. We got to get out of here now. And at that point, I said to myself, I'm hosting this show next year. Let me host this show next year. So the following year, I ended up hosting that same show and doing my Martin Luther King speech that I did way back in elementary school, because I had to memorize. So did that speech, and the following day, random students I've never met before in my life are asking me, oh my God, that was so good last night. Like, are you in the drama program? I'm like, drama? I'm like, nah, I'm in the child and youth work program. Like, oh my God, you're wasting your talent. You got to be, oh my God. I think I heard you're wasting your talent at least 50 times the day after that show. So I was like, you know what? I went out, got some pictures done, got some headshots done, got an agent, and then started the acting career as a part-time thing while I was doing school for child and youth work. So all these jobs just started popping up around like 04, 05, around there. Yeah.
And do you think it was worth it doing that as a part-time gig?
Oh yeah. It's one of those things where it's, you want to try everything in this thing we call life. You want to try, You only get one life, so you might as well try everything, especially after the last, 3 years we've been living with here with this COVID thing.
Yeah.
I think now more than ever than when I did back in like 2003, 4, 5, is if you have an opportunity to do something, you just got to do it. Right? You just got to do it. In '99, I flipped my car on the 400. Right?
I remember. Yeah.
Split my wig. Scar's pretty much gone now, but
had
22 stitches in my head, and it was one of those things where it's like, I cheated death. So once you cheat death, you've got a second chance at life. So you really got to not take it for granted and do whatever opportunity you have. So after COVID hit, I was like, well, I'm just kind of whatever comes up, you just got to do it. Just got to do it.
Right.
Just got to do it. Just got to do it.
Right.
So with the acting thing, I was like, I have to do it. Like, I have to do this. I was working overnights at a homeless shelter, but, youth worker by night, actor by day, so every day auditions during the daytime and, overnight working in the shelter, doing my thing. So it was a busy time, but I loved every minute of it. Absolutely loved every minute of it.
Now, if you had the opportunity to go back or did a project, would you do it, or would you just kind of, that's now in the past and you're going to strictly stay with the track and field and coaching?
I think it would depend on the project. It would all depend on the project. If it's, I'm older now, I may look young, but, a little older. So I got to be a bit wiser in decision making. I can't be the yes man that I used to be back in the day. Like, I remember this one time, I got called to do the Coca-Cola commercial.
Okay.
And this Coca-Cola commercial was being shot on a Saturday. So I'm working at the homeless shelter on the weekend, but I'm working overnight, so I'm good. So I ended up working the Friday night, and I'm supposed to work Saturday night. Supposed to work from 9 p.m. till 9 a.m. And I'm like, well, the commercial, my call time is 10 o'clock, and it's supposed to end at 6. So I'm like, plenty of time. I can make it work. I can make it work. Whatever. So I worked Friday night. I finish at 9 o'clock. Drive downtown Toronto, and then get my call time 10 o'clock. Get hair, makeup done, whatever. And this was a major set. I didn't know how much. This was like my very first major commercial. This is like a huge product. It's Coca-Cola, right? It's a multi-million-dollar corporation. So
correct.
They put like mad money into their commercials. And this was a commercial. They were giving away a free TV. So I'm looking at this set. I'm like, I feel like I'm on a movie set. Like, this is wild. It's just one huge stage, and they just dismantle and put it back together. And I think I was in it's just the commercial, 30-second commercial, 30 seconds for this commercial, 12-hour shoot. And I'm like, wait a minute, I got to go to work at 9 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
And at 10 o'clock, start shooting. And it was one of those things where it's like, I'm going to make it. I have all my scenes done. Like, we got to do one more scene from the reverse angle. I'm like, okay, no problem. And it's like 7 o'clock, right? So right at that point, I'm not mad because I'm getting paid overtime. And overtime and acting.
That's a truckload of money.
Wow. I'm like, okay. So I'm getting overtime, and then 7 o'clock hits. They're about to do my scene at about 7:30. And I hear the words that I didn't want to hear because I'm like, I gotta go to work for 9 o'clock, and this scene will take about an hour to finish, so I have time. And they go at 7:30. All right, let's break for lunch. I'm like, whoa, what? No. When they break for lunch, lights off, everything shuts down for 1 full hour. So I'm like, oh man. So then we go for lunch, and lunch is catered, the food's there, everything's there. Of
course. Yep.
And I have to call work, say, listen, I'm gonna be a bit late. Ended up going to work for 10 p.m. So I work a 10 to 10 shift acting after coming off an overnight shift, going back to an overnight shift until 9 o'clock the Sunday morning. I think I slept that Sunday until like Tuesday afternoon. I was like,
wow.
But that was a norm. That was a norm. So I was like, but now that, working a full-time job now, it's you got to be mindful of the opportunities. You got to make sure it's worth my while. Yeah.
Very, very true. Very, very true. Now, going back to the track world, you were working with the Flying Angels.
Yep, still am. Yep.
And now, when did you actually start with the Flying Angels?
That would have been 1900 About 1998.
And now, did they
99, yeah.
did they find you or did you find them?
Oh, definitely we found them. It was me, it was Danny Jr. We was all like that, those core grade 9 boys on that relay team in 95, 96. And then we all joined the Toronto Track and Field Club. Right. And then the following year we would go to York University and train with one of the coaches. We met up with Coach Earl and he would just train us. And we're like, let's just join the club. Back in like 97, 98, 99, we're in the Flying Angels. And then, after I started school and track was over, the club kind of fell off a little bit. Then I came back in and started coaching the club in 2001, right after high school. Coached that club for about 2 years and then took a break and then came back to the club as a jumps coach in 2014. So I've been there for pushing on 10 years now as a jumps coach for the Flying Angels.
And how is the world of track from then to now? Are we seeing superior athletes? Are we seeing harder workers? What do you see from yourself as an athlete back then to the athletes that you're training now? Is there any real difference?
There's a massive difference, especially when it comes to the jumps, because there's never been when people think of track and field, they think of, the 100 meters, the 4x1, they think of the quarter mile, they think of the sprints. Right. And if you're lucky, you may get some coverage of the jumps if it's, in front of you. But a lot of times jumps are left to the background. And the cool thing about especially the triple jump is that it seems so complicated, but it's actually one of the easiest events to do. Once you get the hang of it, it's super easy. And not a lot of people do it. It's super easy to create a superstar in the triple jump, right? So over the last 10 years with the Flying Angels, we have created some superstars in the triple jump. And when you look at it, if you look at like the Olympics or the World Championships or nationals or any meet out there, when you win a gold medal in the 100 meters, that medal looks exactly the same as the gold medal in the triple jump. The 10 points you get in the 100 meters is the exact same 10 points you get in the triple jump. So I'm like, listen, man, let's just go get some points and win a championship. So that's what we've been doing. Been just winning championships for the last 10 years with just jumps, because people often forget that the jumps get you a lot of points. And if you can teach them how to do it, a lot of people don't know how to do it properly. But when you come to the club, we're going to teach you when you're going to become a star. Yeah.
Okay. Now, like I said, you just got the assistant coach of the year. Was that amongst all post-secondary coaches in Toronto or Ontario, or where was that?
Entire province of Ontario, which is why it was one of those things where, so here's the deal. So I think it was around 2017, we were at a track meet at the University of Toronto. Might have been 2018. Not sure what year it was. But I had one of my jumpers there. He was competing in the triple jump and the high jump. Right. And mind you, he's in grade 12. Okay. And it's a university meet. So he wins the meet, right? Beats all university kids. And then the coach from U of T approaches me and says, hey, listen, what's he doing next year? I'm like, well, he's got a couple schools we're looking at. We're just keeping our offices open. And he asked to speak to his mom. So we all went to his office and had a conversation. And he ended up signing with the University of Toronto. And the coach told me at that moment, because he used to be a jumps coach as well. He's now the head coach at University of Toronto. And he said, I would love to get rid of the ego in coaching in sports, because that's what's really, pushing Canada behind in the world of athletics. Okay. Everybody's got an ego. If everybody can just focus on the athlete, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. So he told me that, hey, listen, he's going to be a University of Toronto athlete, but he will always be your athlete. If you want to come down to U of T and coach him and see what we're doing, you're free to come by anytime you want to, right? I was like, no, I trust you guys. He ended up becoming the national champion for 4 years straight. Wow. 4 years straight national champion. So their technical jumps coach had passed away last year, right? So he approached me last June and he pretty much said that he's looking for a new jumps coach, and there's only one person he wants as that jumps coach. And he said, it's me. He's like, oh, because I'm not doing interviews. I'm not going to put an interview out there. You're the only one I want. You're the only guy for this job. So I was like, well, I got to talk to the Flying Angels first because I've been with that club for, going on 10 years. So I got to run it by them first. And the coach, Flying Angels, said, listen, if you have an opportunity, you take the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So I still do both. I do 2 days a week at U of T, 2 days a week at York with the Flying Angels, and I still get to coach both teams and still coaching that young man. Right, still coaching him, and he's basically the reason why I took the job, was because he was still there, right? So they have a lot of talented athletes that they gave me. We ended up winning 3 golds and a silver at the provincial championships, and this past weekend at nationals, we ended up with 1, 2, 3 silvers and a bronze in the jumps.
Wow!
So, and our men's team ended up becoming second overall in the country. So, yeah, it was one of those things where it's like
second overall.
Yeah, wow. Second overall. I was like, oh wow, okay, all right. So, like when all the other people, it was funny when my first track meet I went to in Guelph, go to Guelph, and for 10 years I'm wearing orange, and I show up to Guelph at a university meet wearing blue. Yeah, the coaches and athletes did that double take, like, you're at U of T now? I'm like, yeah, and it's almost that feeling of, man, we're doomed. They got this guy coach. Yeah. Like, oh man, we are done for. So that very first meet, I walked in there, and I think we put in just the men's events, just the men's triple jump and the men's long jump, and obviously triple jump, I know I'm going to win it because I got the top guy in the country. And then for long jump, I'm like, so I'm just meeting you guys for the first time. Show me what you got. And I think just the presence of me being there, and that they came first and second in the long jump. Oh. And they're like, so that's why they brought you here. Yeah, that's why they brought me here. We're here to win. We're here to win medals. So it's been a fun ride. So I didn't know Coach of the Year was a thing, but they gave me the Coach of the Year for Assistant Coach of the Year. I'm looking around the province. I'm like, there are some phenomenal coaches in this province at a ton of universities. They're doing some amazing things, and it's just an honor just for them to think of me to give that award to me, especially in my very first year, which means I guess I did something right, made an impact with this team. So it's an honor getting that award. Yeah. It's
definitely an honor and a blessing. Now going further, seeing that you've been with some of these athletes for some time, would they ever be pushed to go to the Olympic level? And if so, will you follow them, or will you let someone else take over?
Well, that is that's been the plan. I remember Coach Earl from Flying Angels said that, these kids are growing out of the program. So you have an option to either rebuild with younger kids or follow them out. And I'm still steady trying to do both, because we still have some younger kids that are phenomenal, and I'm still keeping tabs on these older kids. So what they do is, I got a few jumpers that are in the U.S. right now on scholarships. And obviously I got some kids at U of T and other schools. I got a few at Western, some at Brock, some at Waterloo. So during the winter break and the summertime, they all come back home. They all come back, and they come back with me, and I train them and get them ready for the big meets. So obviously the ideal plan is for Budapest, Hungary in August. And that is where the World Track and Field Championships are. So I got 2 guys right now that have an outside shot of sneaking in. I say that because I almost spoke it into existence. So last year I went to Oregon for the World Championships for 2022.
Right.
Sit in the front row. Sit in the front row at the finish line. And
I did see that.
Yeah. So the lady I was sitting next to, we're talking, just getting to know each other, because I think I bought one of her tickets on a resale. So we're just having a conversation, and we're watching the men's triple jump. And the thing about the triple jump is I'm very calibrated. I can always guess a jump just by looking at it. I can tell you exactly what the jump was. So I think I had guessed a jump of one of the pro athletes, and it was exactly right. I'm like, that looks like it's about 17, 13. And obviously in the big screen, 17, 13. I'm like, how did you, I've been doing this for a while. And she's like, do you have any athletes in this? She's like, because she asked me what I do. I'm like, I'm a jumps coach. And she's like, she knows us from Canada. I'm like, well, I got 2 guys that are pretty good, but I'm looking at maybe next year, looking for maybe Paris for the Olympics. Get them out there. She's like, I hope they get there. I hope they get there. So like the Olympic standard is around 17 meters.
Okay.
Just to get in. That's the standard to get in. So right now I got a guy last year who jumped 16:26. So I'm like, buddy, we're close. We can get there. So then the other guy he was steady jumping around 15:50. So then doesn't he on the weekend break the national record jumping 16:24? So now I got a 16:26 and a 16:24. So the push is to keep these guys healthy and see if we can get them close to that 17 mark outdoors this year. Mm-hmm. And that way, I'm booking a plane ticket to Budapest. I'm going to Hungary.
Wow, that is amazing. Wow. Yeah. Now, being the coach, it's not only just coaching the techniques of the trade or of the sport or of the event. What about the behind the scenes training and the nutrition? Do you also put your fingerprint on that, or do they have a nutritionist, or do they have a weight coach?
Yeah. So with the club kids and Flying Angels, we pretty much got to be very eclectic, which is why I'm glad I came in as strictly the jumps coach. So it kind of, eases the pressure off of other coaches, and it gives me a chance to, build up other athletes. So we do a lot of everything. So I know early season, I dedicate one day to just strictly weight training. So we're in the weight room getting stronger. And that's only for the high school kids. So we'll do like a warm up, and then high schoolers, they got a weight program. Elementary kids, we do just strictly technical stuff, getting them stronger, getting them balanced. Right. So, when it comes to the university athletes, they're well taken care of. They're well. Okay. We got a strength coach that we were at dinner on Saturday night, and I'm sitting at this dinner table and I'm looking around, and I'm like, "What? No, this is Friday night." I'm looking around the table. I'm like, there is 16 people at this table. None of them are athletes. I'm like, we only brought like 25 athletes. We're like a 2-to-1 ratio, coach. I'm like, we got a videographer, we got a social media, we got photographer, we got a distance coach, we got a pole vault coach, we got me as a jumps coach, we got long sprints coach, short sprints coach, hurdle coach, pole, like you name it. Like they're taken care of. Like they're absolutely taking care of, nutritionists, everything. So that's why it's cool when I show up. It's like I just take care of just the technical aspect of the jump just to get them where they got to be. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It seems like a lot of fun, and I've seen you get to travel not only the province, but you can travel the whole country. And when it comes to that, so you've seen a few new places. I mean, I guess that was your first time in Saskatoon.
It was my first time in Saskatoon, and we had a stopover in Calgary. So we're in Calgary for a bit yesterday. Mm-hmm. So, and plus I'll be in Calgary next year for the youth national championships.
Okay.
So I'll get to stay longer than about 3 hours, but that pretty much puts me at 9 out of 10 provinces on my bucket list. My bucket list was to travel, get to every single province in the country, right? So Calgary makes it 9 out of 10. I just got to find out get a reason or some reason to get out to Newfoundland. I haven't been there yet.
No?
It's the only province that I have not been to.
Well, I mean,
yeah, got to get out there. Was in Scotia in 2019, and then while we were in Scotia, we did the drive, long drive, and I'm like, well, to drive to Scotia, PEI is right there. Like,
might as well.
We might as well. We took that drive across that bridge. Woo, man, that bridge is something. That Confederation Bridge, man, that bridge is serious. It's a long bridge.
No, thank you. Suspended bridge at that distance, I'll pass.
No. And honestly, a lot of people did pass. We had two transit vans, big 10-seaters. Right. So I think the head coach and a few parents were like, you just drop us off at that gas station right there. We'll wait till you guys come back. And then we waited for like 2 hours in a gas station while we drove to PEI across that bridge, because the drive from that highway spot to the bridge, it's about 30 minutes. So we left at the gas station and we drove to that bridge, went across that bridge and pulled into PEI. Did a lap around the city for a little bit, got out, took some pictures, and then got back on the road and picked those guys up. Like, we would have stayed longer if everybody came, but we felt bad leaving because they're at the gas station. So we just made it a real quick, photo op and back on the road again. So, but did New Brunswick, I've done Quebec a dozen times. Obviously I live in Ontario, did Manitoba twice. Was in BC last year, going back to BC again this July. And that's my first time in Saskatoon. So knocked off everything.
Now you've already, once you conquer that bucket list,
I'm truly Canadian.
Once you knock off that, are there places in the world that you want to visit, both on a sport, on a sport aspect, or even just go see vacation wise or whatever?
Well, I'm trying to knock off, like, now that next year I'll have 9 out of 10 Canadian provinces. I'm trying to get 50 of 50 U.S. states. I think right now I'm at about 30. I'm about 30 U.S. states right now. Just trying to knock off one, every time we go to track. Now I'm going to Virginia Beach for the first time this weekend. So that'll be a pretty cool thing. But I've done a ton of states outside of track. I'd love to just go check out, those 7 wonders of the world. I'd love to, take a walk on the Great Wall of China, do that picture with the pyramid, I want to, push that.
Yeah.
I want to go to Stonehenge. I want to, Easter Island. I want to take a look at some places live and in person instead of just, on Google Maps. So that'd be pretty cool. Want to go to Greece.
Oh, that is on the bucket list. Yeah. Greece, Portugal, and Malta, actually.
Nice.
Malta looks like a nice place to just stand at a spot and just look. It's very European countries are very, very colorful, and their architecture is so different. And again, with them being so Mediterranean and whatnot, water, it's a certain type of climate that you might enjoy. But again, time will tell if I can get to those places. I would love to definitely visit them. What about Australia? All on the other side of the places, and China and Japan and maybe the Philippines. How about those places? Would you want to go there?
I always said to myself that outside of Toronto, Australia is the place I would want to live, until I found out that everything that lives in Australia can kill you.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not sure if I want to live in Australia.
Yeah.
I don't want to take a chance of going to the bathroom and have some creature creep up my creeper. I can't. It can't happen. I can't do it.
It's so true.
They've got spiders the size of dinner plates out there, man. Them things is massive. Like
100%.
And they've got animals the size of your pinky finger that could kill you. Oh,
yes,
I'm good.
Yes,
I'm good. But I would love to visit. I would definitely love to visit. I was watching a vlog online with Hunter Woodall and Tara Davis. Hunter Woodall is he's a para-athlete and just got married to Tara Davis, long jumper for US. They're in Australia for a track meet out there, and they're vlogging the whole thing. I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. They were not being attacked by animals. It's not that bad. It looked like a beautiful place. Australia looks like a beautiful place to check out. So yeah.
Okay. And what about good old England?
Oh yeah, I think England is like the European version of Canada.
I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, it's like European version of Canada, right? So
and pretty much London is pretty much Toronto. I think Toronto is just the same thing. Yeah. You've got the same melting pot of different ethnicities in that's one city, and again you are part of the whole British Commonwealth and whatnot, so you got that same type of vibe when you're walking the streets.
I would love to do that. But the difference between like being over there and being up here is that over here you can hop on a bus or a train and end up touring the entire province of Ontario in a day. You can hop on a bus or a train and end up touring the entire country of Europe. Like everything is like boom right there. You want to go to Scotland? Yeah. Let's go to Scotland. Hey, let's go to Switzerland. Go to Switzerland. Hey, let's go to Sweden. Let's go to Norway. And everything's like boom, like right there. So
that's true. That's true.
Like if you're going to Europe, you got to do the full European tour and just go all around.
That is true. That's true. So, I am definitely looking to doing that. On a personal level, is there any special person in your life right now?
Nah, man, it's nah, man. Listen, it's I've always told myself that once I settle down, like this job is over, because like, you have any kids? Like, well, you settle down if you have kids, and I can't put 100% into the kids I work with now. So no, it's just me doing me, man, doing my thing. So yeah.
Okay. So you've given all that dedication to those kids in that.
But I'm all in. I'm all in. Yeah,
I like that. And
especially because, like, I don't know what it was about, like, when it comes to the track and field, where if you're a track and field head, then the weekend of March 10, 11, 12, this weekend has got to be one of the most impressive weekends in the history of track and field, because the amount of records, world records, provincial, national records that have gone down this weekend, it's actually mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. But I have a girl right now in grade 11 who just cleared 13 meters in the triple jump. And
wow,
the irony of it is the jump that I did in grade 12 at OFSA is the jump she just did this weekend in New York in grade 11. 13 meters 26 is the exact. I remember that jump. I jumped that at OFSA in 2000 in Windsor. 13:26. She just jumped 13:26 as a grade 11 girl. Like, she's better than me.
Wow.
Like, she is. So right now it's she's texting me and calling me like all weekend. Like, what do I say to this coach? What do I say to this coach? I don't know what to do. She's got pretty much. And, and when it comes to her marks, like, her marks are stellar. Like, she's a straight A student. So she can pretty much take the U.S. map, close her eyes, and pick a school, and she'll get in. Full ride. So
that's a great feeling to have, that you have that opportunity to do anything just because of your hard work. So, yeah, kudos to her, and hopefully she does pick the right one. Is there a spot that you might want her to kind of choose?
Well, the thing with me, I never want to be the one that tells someone where to go. Right. I like to give them the options and make them choose it themselves, because especially as you become an adult, nobody's making a decision for you. You have to do everything by yourself. So I kind of want them to get used to that feeling. Like, should I go to this school? Should I go to this school? I'm like, listen, do you like the school? You went on a visit. What did you think? You let me know what you want. I will back you up 100%. Right? I know she's got, obviously I have my views on certain schools. And obviously I will give her the pros and cons of them all, and her parents. This is what the school's known for, but at the same time, it's like, you might want to be mindful of, A, B, and C, right?
Right.
If you're committed, you're stuck there, so you gotta be careful on what you choose, right? So
exactly.
I know we got to meet in Virginia next week. I know she spoke with multiple coaches. We're talking Ohio State, Florida, LSU. Like, basically every school is pretty much got eyes on her right now, especially after that 13-meter jump that broke the national record on the weekend. So it's going to be a fun year, because she's got about a year right now. She's only in grade 11. So if she's doing this now, like, what will she do next year? It's like,
that's the thing. Yeah.
It's like, I told her when she was in grade 6, like, you're on pace to jump 14 meters by grade 12, right? Because in grade 5, she jumped 990 in the triple jump. In grade 6, she broke a record that was set in 1970 and jumped 1088 in grade 6.
Wow.
And in grade 7, she ended up jumping 1110. And then grade 8 comes, and we have this thing called COVID-19, right? So she didn't get to jump, but we did have a chance to compete in one meet in September.
Okay.
And she jumped 1197. You're going up a meter every year. So I said, at this pace, you're going to be jumping 14 by grade 12. And I put that thought in her head. And her mom would always say, every record you break, I'm going to buy you ice cream. She loves ice cream. She loves ice cream. So she'll always get the ice cream. So I was like, okay. So here comes, nothing in grade 9 because of COVID. And here comes, she's in grade 10. She breaks the OFSA record in grade 10, jumps 12.3. I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl's on pace to jump 14 by grade 12 because she's already at 12 meters.
Wow.
Now here we are in grade 11. She's at 13 meters. I'm like, this girl's actually going to, I'm like, you're gonna break the world record in your first year in university. You're on pace. You're on pace to jump 17 meters by the time you graduate university. Like
Wow.
she is that
Year,
talented.
a meter a year. That's amazing.
She's
That's
been going
amazing.
up 1 meter per year.
And it's just a matter of discipline and hard work. That's it. That's all it is, really. I mean, yes, you have your God-given talent, as most people do if they go into a sport of any kind that they like. But yeah, that coach, that guidance, that determination is definitely key to her success. So she must be loving the fact that she's getting all that stuff from you and everybody else around her. So kudos to you to making a premier elite athlete, and hopefully we will see her in the near future.
And the great thing is she's just one of many.
Mm.
During COVID, there's nothing to do, so I ended up doing the club records and looking at the records in the actual jumps. The top 10 jumpers in our club are all within the last 5 years. And this club is 25 years old. And the top jumpers in the club are all within the last 25 years. And I'm pretty sure 10 out of 10 of them are current athletes in the club right now. So she's just one of many. She's one of many superstars in our club. Asia Phillips, remember that name? You're going to hear that name a lot in the sport of track and field. So she's a top tier talent. Yeah. Okay.
Looks like you got everything rolling freaking amazing for you, my brother. I mean, I'm very blessed and happy for you, for sure. I mean, like I said, I keep tabs on everybody I've gone through life with, from our days of watching wrestling at the bar.
Dude, I'm still watching wrestling.
Well, we're not at the bar though. See, that's the thing. That was our main event thing. Myself and Joel and you would go out there, hit the bar, and we take over the bar. We take over the whole scene. That was us.
I loved it.
That was us. But yeah, I mean, wrestling is, as I've told everybody, wrestling has always been a part of my life. It's why I am who I am.
You still keeping tabs on what's going on?
I keep as much tabs as I can, as much as I'm allowed, because I'm a family man here, so I got responsibilities. I sometimes have to sneak around to watch some wrestling. Damn it! Want to watch a main event? I want to make sure I got the pay-per-view and just sit there and watch my damn pay-per-view. No, I got responsibilities like work and children and a wife, and I'm like, you know what? But yes, the show that is coming up next is the show of shows,
the granddaddy of them all.
Indeed, the house show of Immortals. Immortals. I mean, I saw the card, and the card is amazing. Like, probably the best card I've ever seen.
I gotta tell you something. This build up right now is reminiscent of like 2002, 2005, those years, like that 2002 year when you had Hogan and Rock. That whole 2002 year with Triple H's comeback, and that 2005 year with that Evolution breakup with Batista.
Randy Orton and
that Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, going to Hollywood.
Yes,
they got this year. I'm like, this is a pretty big deal. I'm like, I'm really digging the story, and I think they're actually calling it. That's term. It's a story. I love the story they got going on this year with the Tribal Chief and Cody. I just love it. It's just amazing.
I think they have wrestling has evolved to not just give you a story to present to the people. They're actually using actual events and history and putting it into it. And I mean that promo that Cody and Paulie Heyman, that was real.
Yeah.
And you felt it. And I'm like, man.
And the funny thing is, they kind of have to do that now.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
And the reason why they have to is in 1996, we all know when they broke that fourth wall, when the curtain call, and that kind of pulled the curtain of, wait a minute, wrestling's not real. What? And everybody kind of like, wait a minute, you're a good guy, you're a bad guy, this doesn't make any sense, right? But the star power was so strong, nobody wanted to believe that.
That's true.
And then once those stars started to retire, and then Hogan was gone, Rock is gone, Austin's gone. It's like these young guys are just athletes. Just this is like Cirque du Soleil on And then the stories were like they weren't really. So then the wrestling fans started to fade away. WCW's gone. There's no competition, right? TNA wasn't giving them what they needed. AEW's trying right now, but it's like we got to try something different. So this whole reality era of just telling the real story, that's how you sell the product. And I think them doing that right now is working. It's working really good.
Yeah. And they're using social media the right way, because I do follow a lot of the shoot interviews and videos that they do on TikTok and so forth, and they're telling all these stories about going on the road with this person and guys ribbing guys on this side, and how Vince McMahon was the top-notch funny guy who would be making fun of everybody, and I'm like, yeah, that sells your brand, because that's what people want to see, that you're a real person.
Yeah.
That you're not some type of, dragon that, spits fire just because he's in the ring. No, you're Ricky Steamboat. And this is what you were doing with Ric Flair in the bar in Hawaii, fighting everybody else. Like, that makes it real to me, because they're real people.
They're pulling back the curtain. They're pulling back the curtain, which is really
and I like it. And now you can't really point fingers or say, this and that about it, because they're just, hey, this is us, like us or not. I know we're going to put on a show.
But at the same time, I think it makes it harder for these younger wrestlers to really find out who they are as a wrestling character, right? I think it just makes it difficult, because, you have to find a character that the audience is going to care about, right? And how are you going to make us care about you if you're just a regular dude that just, plays video games and just watches TV and kind of thing, right? What's going to make me want to like you, right? So, and it's a challenge, because if you put a character on TV, the internet will chastise that person to find out who they really are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think this whole Bray Wyatt character would have been phenomenal in like 2002. Like the whole Uncle Howdy and all that stuff. Great.
Yeah, the stable,
right now, but as soon as you look at it, it's like, okay, here comes Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. Yeah, well, okay. Who's Uncle Howdy? Oh, it's Bo Dallas. Yeah, I can talk about the earring. Everybody's looking into who's beyond the character, as opposed to just watching the story for what it is.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll just watch TV. I don't look at spoilers anymore. Back in the day I did a lot, but now I don't look. I just want to watch and see, how can you tell a story to me? I have not looked at Twitter at all, or looked at the comment section of anything regarding the bloodline. Nothing at all. I just want to be entertained by this story, because this story is probably the best story they've ever put on in wrestling history. I'll say it right now. Don't care.
The best.
I think this is the greatest story they've ever put on in the history of world wrestling entertainment.
Wow.
I think this tops the Undertaker Kane story. This is like on par, maybe even like a little bit above. Just doesn't have the crowd power of the Austin McMahon story. Like, this story is it's compelling, and it's been going on for almost 3 years.
3 years now. Yeah.
So,
and they've had a lot of pieces added into the mix that help the story a lot.
Yeah.
And I heard that there's still more to come. Like, they're gonna definitely use this man. I mean, Roman Reigns is the flagship of the business right now, guaranteed.
Greatest champion of all time right now.
And he is quite entertaining. And it took him a while to get his sea legs. And when he got it, man, that guy has evolved into something just so amazing. And you can't fault him. Whether you love him or hate him, this guy is the business. And again, he has the bloodline that has taught him how to be the way he is. I mean, his family is royalty, wrestling royalty. And who knows if they'll even bring those guys in the mix. You notice a lot of these Hall of Famers coming back for a second run, because they love what they're seeing. Trish, Lita, Kurt Angle came in a few times. You name it. Everybody just wants a little taste of the magic. Wants to feel that energy again. And I don't blame him, because these guys are exciting. These guys are very exciting. Now, before we go, who is your favorite wrestler right now that doesn't hold a title?
You have to put that last part in there. Oh, that's an easy answer.
Easy answer.
It's an easy answer. I was gonna say, with a title, it's definitely gotta be Bianca. With a title, Bianca's she's phenomenal, like, in every single way. Athletically, she's
better than most men.
Yeah,
in that field, guaranteed.
But right now, without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite performer, superstar, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is not a joke. It's just a fact of life. Yeah, L.A. Knight. Yeah. What?
What?
Whose game is it? L.A. Knights game, baby. Yeah. What? He is unbelievable. And I'm just waiting for him to just, he's like on the cliff of star power and he's just ready to just blow up.
Yeah. Yeah. And the crowd is ready. They're ready for him.
They're ready.
They don't know where to fit him in right now.
I think
they don't know where to fit him in yet.
You know, I accidentally clicked on a link that took me to a rumor report. I was like, I wish I didn't see that, but now I kind of want to see it. Stone Cold Steve Austin, one more run. LA Knight, WrestleMania. No. What versus, that would be good. That would be good.
You know what? Stone Cold's been training, so
I don't know.
You never know.
Would that kill LA Knight or will that build him up? But he's so strong on the microphone.
Yes.
I don't think anything can drop him right now.
You know who I'm probably will surprise you, but my favorite right now, who doesn't have a title, who probably will have a title by the end of this year, is Canada's own Sami Zayn, my man.
Oh.
That guy, from when I saw him in the beginning in NXT to what he's doing now to the modern, well, it's just he just fits. Like he's worked so hard to fit in, and now he has turned people over to watch him. He used to be a jobber. He used to be a guy, and I guess he's had injuries and so forth, but man, this storyline is not the storyline it is without Sami Zayn.
You know, he's almost like a hybrid of Mick Foley and Owen Hart, right? Where you have that character that no one believed would get over in Mick Foley, and you have that other character who's a part of a family bloodline that really shouldn't be there. And when you break out, you're gonna be a star. You know, like when Owen was in the Nation of Domination. What are you doing here?
Yeah,
you're blowing up right now. You're blowing up right now.
Yeah, you know what? That's perfect. Yeah, that's definitely right. Right on.
He's like Owen Foley. Like he's right there.
You're 100% right there. That again, WrestleMania will be an amazing event. I'm definitely gonna watch it. I will take the day off if I need to. Is it still a 2-day?
It's still a 2-day. Yeah, still a 2-day.
Think about it. We went from a 2-hour show to 3-hour show to Sunday WrestleManias where you would watch or you would read about it in the paper on the Mondays to now a 2-day event. A 2-day event of non-stop action.
They tried a lot of. Remember WrestleMania 2? WrestleMania 2 was in 3 locations.
3 locations.
Yeah.
3 locations.
Remember 3 locations. Imagine you showing up to WrestleMania to get 3 matches.
Yeah.
You get 3 to 4 matches at one location, and that's it. Yeah. And then it went to 2.5 hours. Okay, now it's starting to build. Let's blow it up. Then they go from arenas to big, huge stadiums.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you can't hold this up in.
Then they're going back to stadiums. Okay, we're pushing 50, 60, 70, 80,000 people.
And it didn't stop when COVID hit because they had that whole Thunderdome thing going on too. And it still worked.
It
still worked.
Sometimes I'll even play Thunderdome on the game because the Thunderdome is actually in the video game.
It is in the game. And again, I think, is in itself is it's something you can't lose. You cannot society can't be without wrestling. Yes, you have basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer. Wrestling you have to put in there. And I've been watching some documentaries and watching some stories. I'm like, yeah, people in the sports world are only the people in the sports world because of wrestling. The characters, the villains, the heroes, all that stuff they got from wrestling. And maybe people won't admit it, but it's true.
It's a huge part of the culture.
100%. So if you make fun of a guy, if you make fun of a guy watching wrestling, you're just making fun of that superstar that's winning gold medals, or that guy who's on TV who's running the mic. I mean, those guys are personalities. That's where they got their shit from.
Let me tell you something. Kansas City Chiefs, Golden State Warriors, who won the World Series last year? Doesn't matter. It wasn't the Blue Jays, so I don't really care. Right?
Yeah,
but
it's true.
What are they wearing at those parades? WWE title belts.
Exactly.
With their
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm telling you,
Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, that's and that's the thing. The people won't admit it, but you see it. You'll see that the old gold belt on a man's shoulder, that WCW World Championship belt. That was a big deal.
I'm
The
telling you,
freaking the new WWE belt right now. People are wearing that.
I
And
love
they're
it.
putting their moniker on there because they know that's status.
I
If
think
you have a belt like that, that's a status.
Ric Flair's is popular now than he was in the 80s. Like
Yeah.
I saw Ric Flair in a Bad Boy commercial. Nobody, woo! Like what?
Really?
Ric Flair
Rick?
in a
Hey,
Bad Boy commercial.
again,
Yeah.
it's all about culture. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you for popping in and giving me your time. I know it's spring break, March break type of thing for you, and you get to enjoy it.
It is, but it's not. So
It is, but it's not. Well,
like this is my one day off. I got practice tomorrow, and we're leaving for Virginia on Wednesday
yeah,
for the Adidas National Championship. So yeah,
man doesn't sleep in his own bed very often.
no, it's hotel living.
But you're loving it though,
I love it,
man.
I wouldn't trade it.
It's amazing. I mean, God bless you, brother. You've been doing great, and I wish you all success for all those people that you've been coaching, even the past guys that you've coached, and see how they are. Because again, it's just amazing how someone I've known for a while has brought so much success to all these lovely young athletes. So again, kudos to you, and hopefully you guys kick ass. And come Budapest, we want to see you there. We want to see a vlog of you in Budapest. Just let you know.
Speaking
all
to
right,
existence,
brother.
it's gonna happen.
There you go. It's going to happen. All right.
Brother.
That's it. That's all, folks. We out of here. Peace and love. PG. We out. Later.